As tempting as it may be to make improvements to your dream home in the sun, there's a right and a wrong way to do it. In this week's episode, we're going to hopefully point you in the right direction. So welcome to episode number 55 of 2 Minute Tuesday with Hondon Valley Homes. Now, you may have just purchased your dream home, you may have bought a renovation project, or you may simply be updating your current home. And as tempting as it may be, just to get on with it, there are certain rules and regulations as to what you are allowed to do and not do. And there can be consequences in the future if you don't follow them. Many people are not aware that in Spain you need planning permission for potentially even very small jobs in and around your property. So for example, if you were increasing the height of a wall, how high can you go? If you're laying tiles on a patio or replacing tiles on a patio, installing a garden shed, or even enclosing a conservatory or a balcony. Obviously there are bigger jobs such as adding a swimming pool, a garage, or even extending a property. Now, depending on the type of work that's undertaken, you will need either major or minor planning permission. And this needs to be obtained from your local town hall, the Ayuntamiento. Now, the town hall will advise you on what type of permission is required and your legal obligations regarding the work. So, for example, how close to a party wall you can construct or how high you can build a wall. Now, if you live in a development or that has a community of owners, or perhaps if you own an apartment, you may also need to seek their permission as well before even undertaking the planning permission. Now, just because a neighbour or a neighbouring property has undertaken the work doesn't automatically give you the right to do so yourself. But if, for example, they haven't even sought permission themselves to do the work. Another word of caution is that if you allow your builder to apply for the building permission and the licence on your behalf, you should double check that they have done so. Now, whenever I visit a property to list it for sale, I always ask for a copy of the deeds. And the deeds will actually list all the aspects of the property that are registered with the land registry. Now, if I'm sat at a beautiful villa with a pool and a garage and a casita, but the deeds only show me a villa, I'm aware of what needs to be updated prior to the sale, and I can give the vendor the advice accordingly. Now, if you initially sought permission to build the pool and you have a copy of the builder's project, and you've got a copy of the licence and the Finder Obras, there is no problem. However, it's somewhat more complicated to legitimise the improvements if you haven't got them. So what are the consequences of not getting permission for doing the work? Well, you may have been lucky and the work may have remained undiscovered for many, many years. However, one day when you come to sell the property, it will be discovered for sure. Me as the agent, I'll pick up on it, your lawyer will, and certainly the buyer's lawyer will. And you don't want the buyer's lawyer advising them not to buy your property due to a small paperwork issue. Now, the town halls themselves are actively looking for illegal additions to properties, and it's common for photographic flights to pass over your property every year so that changes to the properties can be monitored, and it can be determined what year your pool was installed, what year your garage was built. Believe me, technology is catching up fast. Now, there is a common belief here in Spain that if the infringement hasn't been found for 4 years, that the issue will be dealt with, and it's no longer a case. However, the law now can go back 15 years, and depending on the issue, it can be dealt with from a simple fine all the way up to demolition and a fine. So you have been warned. Now, in some cases, it may be possible to apply for retrospective planning permission. And if you're a little bit nervous about going into the town hall and giving yourself in, you can always seek the advice of a local architect or a lawyer who will advise you accordingly. So this is some common sense advice that we can all benefit from, especially if you're looking to sell your property in the near future. Now, if you would like advice, then you can please give me a call or make an appointment, and I'll happily come and see you, have a look at your documentation and see what, if anything, needs to be updated. And my details should be on the screen at the moment. So thank you once again for your time viewing this week's episode. We hope to catch up with you on the next episode. If you're watching and you wish to subscribe, you can click on the small logo, should be in the bottom of the screen down here somewhere. Or you can wait until the end of the video and click on the round logo then. So for this week, thank you for your time and adios.